So thank you very much to our Diamond sponsors, ARM and XenServer, who have helped to make this possible. And also, thank you very much to the Xen Project Advisory Board, who as a whole subsidizes the vast majority of this kind of a conference. So this has been really good. So this is what so first, just an introduction to the summit, the space, what it's going to be like. You all know there's a code of conduct. I mean, Evie asked me to tell you, just make sure that you're being kind and nice, don't be mean or anything like that. If you have any problems, you can come and talk to me or one of Evie's team, and I mean, they're trained to sort of handle stuff. Yeah, so the space, we have both the virtual and the physical spaces. We have the conference hall, which is this one, and we have room 4.1, which I meant to find out where it was, but hopefully it's nearby. That shouldn't be too hard to find. You guys all found the entrance at entrance 10. Apparently on Monday, so today and tomorrow, entrance 10 will be the one we use. Apparently Monday, all the other entrances are also open, so you could come in entrance 9. You could also come in entrance 1, which is on the other side of the building, and I think slightly closer if you're coming across the bridge. You just have to sort of come up to the 4th floor. It's the 4th floor on that side is all the Linux Embedded Open Source Summit. So just you could, if you wanted to, come up that side and then just walk across the top over to our side of the thing. I don't think they'll be angry that you're there. Yes, so how to hybrid. Okay, so for people who are on Big Blue Button, basically, if you are virtual and you want to ask a question, turn on your camera. So the AV people at the back will be looking at the Big Blue Button screen. They will see you turn on your camera. They will sort of raise their hand for you. And when the speaker talks and kind of calls on you, then you can talk and your voice will be amplified to the whole room. Your face will not show up on the screen. That's the plan. So don't be afraid to just turn on your camera. I think in the past we've said turn on your camera and people just like text in the if you text in the chat room, the AV people might not see it. There might be a delay. Like Evie will try and keep tabs on it and erase stuff. But basically, if you turn on your camera and then ask with your mic, that's probably the best thing. And if we're physically listening to a virtual talk, then of course just kind of raise your hand. The AV people can bring over a mic to you, and we'll try to get the attention of the speaker somehow so that you can ask your question. Right, so other online things. So Georgiana, our PR person, has requested that all of you take lots of photos and post them and tag them with #XenDevSummit. And the Twitter ones and I mean maybe LinkedIn and other stuff like that as well. She will be on the lookout for good things and retweet those. Many of you have also found it, but we have the Matrix channel for the summit, and there's obviously there's iPhone and Android Matrix apps, which means you can kind of communicate as we're going on offline. Okay, design sessions. If you're new to this, if you're new to the conference, a big part of what we do here is called design sessions. If you want to talk about any subject, you can just propose a talk, and then other people who are interested in it can also join the talk. So to see how this works, you go to designsessions.zenproject.org. At this point, to create a new account will require a validation code, so it's up there. It should also be in an email that was sent out. As you create an account, one thing to double check to make sure, we adapted this for the virtual summits, which means everybody was in a different time zone, and we still obviously have people who are virtual. So if you are here in Prague, I mean, just make sure that your default time zone is set to the right place. So it should default to Prague, but I may have screwed that up. So make sure to check that it's defaulted to Prague, and if you are remote, obviously set it to your own local time zone. If you want to propose a session, click on the proposed thing at the top. Say what the title is and what you want to do. So the content of the description can be in Markdown if you need to. And if you want to give a talk, if you plan this to be just a talk, like more of a one-way thing than a discussion, just put talk in brackets. That's allowed. Then go to the sessions list, and you'll see a list like this. Just express how much you want to attend each talk. So if you don't care, leave it at none. If you want to do it a little, click a little, yes, or very much. And basically, there is an algorithm, in the 90s, this would have been called an AI, that tries to, it get points for how many talks you can attend. And it gets more points if you can attend a very talk than a yes talk or a little talk. So basically, what will happen is every morning, just about lunch, we will run the scheduler and then freeze the talks for that afternoon, okay? So if you go to the sessions tab, at some point you will see something that looks kind of like this. This has, you know, obviously this is from last year, not this year, but it has the day and the time. If it has a yellow tentative thing, that means it's not fixed yet. Don't plan your day around that being at that time, because it may be changed when we rerun the scheduler. If it's green and says final, then that's where it's going to be. Yes, it has the room and so on. Yeah, if you need a second session, like if you talk, you know, you hit the end of the talk and you're not done, just make another session. Sessions can be added throughout the conference. So also make sure to check for new sessions throughout the conference. I think the easiest way to do that is to scroll through the things that are all listed none, if you're looking for new sessions. Okay, if you're the session leader, if you are going to expect to be actively involved in the discussion, you will not be able to take good notes. Okay, so if you are the session leader, before you start the discussion, find someone who is not going to be massively involved in the discussion and ask them to take notes. Okay, we will have, you know, AV stuff, so I think mics and things like that. So that should be okay. And yeah, send the notes to XenDevel afterwards. So socialization, we have the dinner tonight at the Art Restaurant Manners. So we will have a shuttle outside door 10. We'll be leaving around 6:30, sorry, around 5:30. And they did say that it will take probably, like the traffic is good, with the traffic and stuff like that, we'll probably take about half an hour to drive there. So Evie walked from here to the restaurant yesterday, and she said it is possible, but it is kind of a little bit of a hike. Okay, so it's a solid walking at a decent speed for half an hour. Okay, so just keep that in mind if you're thinking about. I mean, if people decide to walk, it's not going to be kind of a nice leisurely stroll. It's going to be whatever. But there are bike paths toward the river, and then there's basically you're walking along the river the rest of the way. So it looks like it might be a pleasant evening. I'm likely planning to walk myself, so we can organize that on the Matrix channel and so on. But keep that in mind. Okay, are there any questions about the event and the space? Okay, so on to